Welcome back. It's now time for business. The National Treasury has slashed 273 billion shillings from the draft 2024-2025 budget that is now at 3.9 trillion shillings. Churchill Ogutu, an economist at IC Group, has welcomed the reduction but fears this could affect key sectors such as education, infrastructure and defense.
The projected expenditure plan for the financial year 2024-2025 has been reduced by 273.3 billion shillings, attributed to revenue shortfalls and liquidity constraints.
I think this speaks to what the president mentioned some few weeks back, that you will want to see spending in the order of 300 billion shillings. So that dovetails well to what the president aspired.
Allocation to the executive has been slashed by 240 billion shillings to 2.24 trillion shillings, while allocations to Parliament and Judiciary have been maintained. The National Treasury has also reviewed downwards the taxman revenue estimates by 81 billion shillings from 3.43 trillion shillings to 3.35 trillion shillings, where ordinary revenue is projected to fall to 2.91 trillion shillings from 2.94 trillion shillings. Ogutu, however, believes the revenue collection target given to KRA is high given the prevailing economic conditions.
The numbers are quite underwhelming and leaves a lot to be desired. So I'm seeing this significant jump in terms of the revenue target to be collected in the next financial year vis-a-vis where we are at this point in time. I think that's a big, it's quite ambitious from the government.
Following the revision of the fiscal framework, development expenditure is set to take the hardest hit as expenditure plan has been cut from the planned 877.8 billion shillings to 687.9 billion shillings. Recurrent expenditure, including wages and salaries and interest payments, has also been reduced from 2.85 trillion shillings to 2.78 trillion shillings.
In recurrent spending has mainly affected education sectors, TSC, State Department for University Education, such like.
And as an economist, I believe that should not be the right area to target, because we sacrifice the future for today, which the development budget is all about. So in my opinion, we should focus on areas that are alright. There are certain areas of the government that are replicated. There are areas that do not need budget for now because they can be sacrificed. A good example is travel. A good example is entertainment.
This as the government targets to reduce the fiscal deficit by 2.9% of GDP for the financial year 2024-2025 to 514.7 billion shillings from 703 billion shillings.
It makes economic sense for the government to reduce the budget deficit. If you look at the revenues we have been collecting, if you look at the money we have been borrowing through loans, it is not enough to cover our budget. So if we can reduce our expenditure, so good. The big question is which sectors are going to be at the branch.
Collections from ministerial appropriation aid has also been revised from 486.9 billion shillings to 441 billion shillings. Wari Mujenga for Prime Edition.